that a yes?
I'm just saying hi.
700, 700, and now 50, and now 750, we go 750, what about a 50, we get 50, what about a 750, 750, anybody else over here, 750, sold it over here, right here in the purple dress, I got you, it looks purple from here, sorry, maybe it's blue, thank you very much.
Live auction item number 4, a quiet getaway at the Bourbon Lodge. The adventure includes sporting clays, fishing, and time for just lounging on the dock overlooking a private lake. Emilio will be your private chef for the weekend. Your getaway starts on Saturday with lunch. Spend some time perfecting your shot with rounds of sporting clays, followed with fishing or just cocktails on the dock. Dinner prepared just for you and an evening under the stars away from the noise of the city around the campfire. Sunday concludes your getaway with breakfast prepared just for you. Accommodations for 4 adults, the value, $500 donor, Nina Abu.
All right, thank you, Nina. And here we go. Hands, I'm going to give 200. Hit 2, what about a 2, 3, what about a 4, we go 4, what about a 4, get 3 here, need 4, and 4. I like that, 2 1/4, now 250, and 2 1/4, 50, what about a 50, we go 250, now 275, 275, now 3, what about a 3, get them on 3, what about a 3, able to buy 3, what about a 3, we go 300, 275, need 3, I got your bidder of 3, where are we at? 300, and now 50, and 300, now 50, good bid spotting over here, and now 50, what about a 50, we go 350, now 375, 375, 375, 4, what about a 4, we go 4, what about a 4, able to buy 4, what about a 4, now 4 1/4, and 4 here, now quarter, what about a quarter, get 4 1/4, what about a quarter, get 4 1/4, 425 to you dear, what about a 425, and now 450, and 50, and 450, what about a 50, we get 50, what about a 450, 475, what about a 475, 75, go 475, now 5, 5, what about a 5, get 5, go 5, what about a 5, able to buy 500, what about a 5 here, now 50, 500 here, now 50, what about a 50, we get 50, what about a 50, we get 50, what about a 550, 500 here, need 50, what about a 50, we go 50, 550, want to give me 5 1/4, 5 1/4, make it for you, 5 1/4, now 50, what about a 50, we go 50, what about a 550, 4 1/4 here, 50, what about a 5, I got you at 5 1/4, need 550, 550, anybody else, 550, 550, what about a 50, we go 50, what about a 550, 550, and now 600, what about a 6, what do you go 6, what about a 6, 556, now 650, what about a 50, what do you go 50, what about a 5, what do you go 650, sir, 650, 650, you want to give me 6 1/4, 625, and now 650, 650 to you, what about a 50, it's $25 more, come on. 6 1/4, 650's all, 650, anybody else? Thank you anyway. Sold it 6, oh, hold on, there was a bid in play, 650, 675 to you, sir, 675, 75, we go 675, she's looking tired over there, try it one more time, 675, we go 675, 675, yes, no, gotta go, 675, now 700, what about a 7, go 7, what about a 700, what about a 700, 700 in the back, 700, 700, she's waiting for me to say sold, then she's gonna bid, 700, 675 right over here, and what's your number, sir? What's that number? 2, I couldn't read it, 201, 201. All right, folks, I believe we're up to the gift of life. This is probably the biggest part of the whole auction. This is the part where everybody needs to be able to get involved. We may not have been able, we did a great job, the committee got great stuff for me to sell, not just good but great. But you might not need a diamond ring, you might not want to take a trip, but you might still want to help. I think a lot of you came here just so you could do that. It's a great thing to be able to do benefit auctions because you get to meet some of the nicest people in the world. Look, folks, at $3,000, let me talk about what they can do with $3,000. A donation of $3,000 to the National Kidney Foundation will help continue the tradition of providing quality continuing medical education programming to members of the nephrology medical community. What that means, I was able to go out there and speak to one of your doctors who clued me in, and he said that you're talking about training young doctors that are working for advances to prevent kidney failure, and supporting young researchers with that $3,000. That's what that's really going to do. Now, what I want to do, yes, ma'am. I got people pointing both ways. Something's going on that I'm not sure of. Let me say this first before I go any further. Hang on, I got to cover up my mic so she can come up and tell me. Oops, sorry, I started getting ahead of myself here. Oops, can't get good help anymore.
Before we continue with that part of the program, the function, it is now time to call on our co-chair, Dr. Thomas Pullman, to introduce the Gift of Life portion of the program.
Good evening. As I was vigorously writing down my remarks this evening, my wife told me nobody wants to hear you speak. We've been married for 32 years, so I guess I listen to you. So I'd like to thank you for coming, and I'd like to welcome you. I'd like to comment that the Gala Committee has put a wonderful venue together, and I'd like to thank them all. But the real success for this evening comes from our sponsors and from you, those of you who are attending tonight. This is where we can sustain our mission with your generous donations. As I look out this evening, I see a lot of new faces. That's wonderful. I see a lot of familiar faces. And I was actually talking with Dr. Morrison and Dr. Slapolsky earlier. There's fewer and fewer than some of the people that we recognize. But some of these folks have been following us for 26 years. This is the 26th year of the Physician's Feast. This was started off as an effort to support local research. And at least 5 or 6 of the previous Award of Excellence awardees are here tonight. The Gullers from last year, the Pollacks from a few years back, and Barb is still very active in the Gala Committee. She's been the key person for the place settings, the flowers. Dan and Susan Brennan, Aubrey Morrison, and Dr. Slapolsky, who was one of our initial awardees many years ago. They're still here. They're still supporting us. It says something about the loyalty and hopefully something about the worthiness of our cause. The purpose of this initially was to award a research grant. We were able to resurrect that this year. And at the Solid Chloride Lecture, Dr. Singer was able to award Dr. Scott Manson, a urology fellow at WashU, with a grant from our proceeds from last year. I've also had guarantees that we'll be able to award another award this year. And hopefully, with your generosity, we can expand that award. I'd like to recognize a couple of other groups of people. The volunteers tonight gave of their time. Many of them have a direct connection with kidney disease. But many of them are from Scott Air Force Base. They're men and women of our armed forces. They give every day, and on their Saturday night they're here. I'd like to give them a thank you all. Now, the Gift of Life is a fairly new addition to the fundraising. And the first year I'm kind of slow sometimes, and I look down and I'm like, this looks like it's blatantly asking for our money with no strings attached. Well, I want to let you know, that's exactly what we're doing. We're asking for your money with no strings attached. We want your money. For all the reasons we just talked about, for all the things that Sanford and Lang talked about, for all the things that Paul Menace talked about. Now, to put a face on that, I'd like to introduce Mr. Irvin Davis. Mr. Davis is a prominent and successful chairman of the board of Clayton Davis, a internationally and nationally recognized public relations firm. He's well regarded in the business community. But he's also well regarded in the charitable area of St. Louis. He's been the executive officer and leader of the Boys and Girls Club of Missouri. He was a part of the founding board for the Jackie Jordan Kersey Boys and Girls Club. He's been the chairman of the Child Assistance Program. He's currently the vice president of the Crusade Against Crime, and he's been a past president of the National Television and Arts and Science. So he's had credentials in business, in his field, and in charity. And we're honored and privileged to have him include the National Kidney Foundation in his charities. I'd like to have Mr. Davis come up.
Well, I'm going to try to keep this short. It looks like the program's going a little long. I was kind of hoping that the magician would maybe do something to make me disappear. Since the White House didn't send me their teleprompter, I brought some notes with me. I was asked by the foundation to tell you about my experience. I happen to be actually a recipient of a kidney. I was asked by the foundation to tell you about my experience, and I'll try to keep it as brief as possible. I know the evening is getting a little long. I agreed to do it, but being somewhat of a private person, I must admit that I have had some second thoughts along the way. But being realistic, and knowing that Stafford Mannion is being honored tonight, I couldn't pass up the opportunity to take part in the program. Plus, since I represent the other side of awareness, prevention, and treatment, me as a kidney receiver and Stanford as a kidney donor, I guess it is appropriate that I be here to complete the picture. Now, the interesting thing is that Stafford and I have known each other for more than 20 years. His office building adjoined mine in Clayton. We shared parking, and we said hello many mornings. Yet, believe it or not, it wasn't until about 6 months ago that I learned that he was a kidney donor, and likewise, he learned that I was a kidney recipient, which goes to prove that there's a dire need for more awareness about kidney disease. If I'd only known that Stafford, was such a good guy, having given a kidney to his brother, perhaps I should have asked him to donate his second remaining kidney. Kidding aside, my story is simple and I guess typical of the millions of people who suffer with the silent killer. The big difference is, of course, I'm one of the lucky ones whose health problem was detected in time, and I received comprehensive education and treatment. Unfortunately, there are tens of millions of Americans who are at risk, who, if it were not for the National Kidney Foundation, might be without help and hope. Briefly, in 2006, my general practitioner detected symptoms that led him to send me to a nephrologist for further evaluation. Quite frankly, I was shocked when it seemed that out of nowhere I was diagnosed with kidney disease. In 2009, when my condition had progressed to a point where my nephrologist told me I would likely have to go on dialysis, I figured that was the beginning of the end for me, as it would for anyone. Fortunately, however, I had a doctor who was not only a competent practitioner, but also a caring and competent person. He was a positive person. Dr. J. Seltzer made me aware of all my options. And since I did not have a likely live donor for a transplant, he advised that I try to get one on one of the lists which linked the organ procurement and transplantation network in order to apply for a cadaver kidney. I did as he suggested, applying to various major medical centers throughout the U.S., including the BJC here in St. Louis. After extensive evaluation at each, I was approved for listing at 4 of the 6 institutions, pending, of course, a suitable match. I was told because of the heavy demand for organs, the waiting period could be as long as 5 years. Now, 5 years didn't seem very encouraging, you can understand, for a guy my age. But what else could I do but settle back to a long wait? And thankfully, I have a wonderful family and great friends who kept my spirits up. Meanwhile, my condition declined to stage 5, often called end stage. I went on peritoneal dialysis in January 2010. Now, this was inconvenient, but really not as bad as I anticipated it would be. But then came a surprise, a wonderful surprise. 9 months later, on the morning of September 21st, 2010, and I'll never forget that day, I was awakened with a call from BJC. Mr. Davis, can you come down immediately to the admitting office, the voice said. We're expecting a kidney that you may qualify for. Of course, bear in mind, we're calling several candidates to determine the closest match, so there's no guarantee you'll receive the transplant. Now, the possibility of a kidney, wow, that made me so excited. Within an hour, I was on my way to Barnes, accompanied by my daughter Jennifer. She's here tonight. There we stayed all day. Me in one of those silly examination gowns with my backside exposed, and I'm sure if anyone's ever been to a hospital, you know what those gowns look like. And Jennifer with her cell phone, giving family and friends a play-by-play account of what was happening. And at this point, it was nothing. We were told the organ was on its way, being transported from another hospital, being checked, needing to be rechecked, and checked again before the recipient was chosen. Day after day, delay after delay. We spent the entire day waiting, and I must admit with tremendous anxiety between psyching ourselves up for the big event, if it should happen, and consoling ourselves with the thought of just going back to the safety and warmth of our home, if it did. At 6 o'clock that evening, the call came. Suddenly, I was whisked out of my room and told you're it. Before I could change my mind, I believe there was some doubts at this point. There I was in the operating room, being prepared for surgery. The next thing I knew is when I woke up at midnight in the recovery room. My first question, weekly, are they going to do it? And the answer from the nurse, it's all done, Mr. Davis. You have a new kidney, and it is functioning. What a surprise. That's basically my story. I spent 2 days in the hospital, came home, and with the help of my loving family and outstanding transplant team at Barnes, enjoyed a rapid recovery. Now, it's been over 2 years now since I had my surgery. And I'm happy to say it's like I've been given a new life. As I look back, I feel so thankful, knowing medicine has come so far. Also that we have an organization like the National Kidney Foundation to focus on a disease that puts 1 out of 3 Americans at risk, that through the NKF's work, there is and will be even greater strides in awareness, prevention, and treatment. And last but not least, that there are so many good people like you here tonight who are willing to step up and support this important cause. That is absolutely wonderful. That's my story. It's typical of the tens of thousands who benefited from the work of the National Kidney Foundation, who, like me, with each birthday, count their blessings instead of their years. It's wonderful to be alive, and I thank you so much.
What an encouraging and inspiring story, one of many we've heard this evening. And now everyone will have the opportunity to support the various programs the National Kidney Foundation provides to thousands of people who live right here in St. Louis. So Rob, Should we get back to the...
Let's try it again, it's always better the second time. At $3,000, but let me do this first, folks. I don't want to hamstring anybody. There may be somebody here who would like to give more than $3,000. Had it happen at my last auction, last Saturday. Anybody want to do more than $3,000, just raise your hand. I'm going to look, I'm not going to dwell. More than $3,000. I'd be remiss if I didn't ask. At $3,000, they can provide training to young doctors. Already read it to you. Who'd like to do three? 3,000. Anybody at all? 3,000. $3,000. 3,000. Okay, let's go down then. How about 2,000? At $2,000, they can do a screening for patients to keep them out of the emergency room. Donation of $2,000 to the National Kidney Foundation will assist the implementation of important chronic kidney disease awareness efforts within our community, including patient education, community presentations, and comprehensive screenings for early identification of kidney disease. 2,000. Who would like to do two? 2,000. This is the part of the evening where you raise up your little programs. 2,000. Anybody at all at 2,000? Right there. Number 1110. Number 1110. Also number 1107. 1107 at 2,000. Anybody else? That's two. Anybody else at $2,000? This side of the room can play too. Right here, number 302 at $3,000. 302. Give him a round of applause. 302. I go back up, that's fine. Anybody else at $1,000? 1,000. 1,000. Last call at 1,000. Anybody else? Right here, number 307. 307. Anybody else at $1,000? $1,000. Scan in the crowd. Right here, number 905, number 905. Anybody else at $1,000? Right over here. Can you point that number toward me? Number 507. 507. Anybody else at 1,000? Right here, young lady. What's your number?
Monica Straub.
No, your number, hon.
I don't have a number.
Okay, Monica what?
Straub.
Her number is Monica Straub. Anybody else at 1,000? God bless you, Monica. I'll take it all day long, huh? 1,000. Anybody else? Right here. Number 502. Number 502. 1,000. Anybody else? $1,000. Okay. Let's go to the next level. 500. A donation of $500 to the National Kidney Foundation could assist 10 low-income patients on dialysis with the purchase of groceries to meet a renal-friendly diet. Now, for those of you in the room, you know what that means. A renal-friendly diet almost sounds to me like someone's going on vacation to somewhere near Nevada. All right, a renal-friendly diet is food that is good for your kidney, correct? Is that what that is? Help me out here. Who would like to give $500? Right here, number 305. Number 305. Anybody else? $500. $500. Where are you? Right there. Number 1601. 1601. I cannot read that number back there. Can you yell it out to me? 1802. 1802. 506. 506. 511. 511. 508. 508. Anybody else on this side? Anybody else? $500. Who wants to give? $500. Anybody else? Don't want to miss any money. I see you waving over there, hon. You want to do 500? What's that number?
No number. Janice Griffin.
Janet Griffin.
Janice Griffin.
Janet Griffin. Write that down. Over here. 503. 503. I don't want to miss anybody. I don't want to beat you up, but I don't want to miss anybody that wants to give. Anybody else? Last scan at 500. Moving on. At $250, a donation of $250 to the National Kidney Foundation will provide 5 low-income patients with chronic kidney disease with blood pressure monitors for use in maintaining blood pressure at home in an effort to slow the progression of chronic kidney disease or improve outcomes while on dialysis? Who would like to give 250? Right here, number 209, number 209. Who else? 209, anybody else? At $250. Right back there, number 2101, 2101 at $250. Who else would like to play at $250? Right here, sir, your number is
1604.
1604, 1604. Who else at 250? At 250. Anybody else? At 250? Thank you very much. Then we are on to the $100 level. A donation at $100 could allow one low-income dialysis patient with severe nutritional risk factors to improve outcomes by receiving 3 months of nutritional supplements. Who would like to do $100? Right there, dear. What's your number? 203? That's correct, 203. At $100. What else? Right here, 909. 909. Anybody else? Right back there, 2005. 2005. $100. Anybody else? Right here, and the number is
1605.
1605. 1605. $100 bills. Anybody else? Anybody else? Right over here, there's another one, and the number is
207.
207. $100. Anybody else want to throw a $100 bill at me? $100.
Over here.
Over here.
Max Schaefer, Schaefer Electric.
Schaefer Electric. All right, we're going to get 100 from Schaefer Electric. Thank you very much. $100. Anybody else? She's doing a workout there. This poor guy's getting choked. $100. Anybody else? Thank you very much. I did want to go backwards. We were told on the item about the house, let's go back for 1 second. The Bourbon Lodge. Where was my high bidder and where was the person who was right underneath him, the underbidder? Where was my second place bidder? Were you the second place bidder or you were the high bidder? High bidder was here. Where was the underbidder? Do you remember? Underbidder for the Bourbon Lodge. Right over here? Right over where? I see you pointing. Where are you pointing? Where are you pointing? Ma'am, are you pointing at your table or are you pointing at the other side of the room? Over here. Over here. Underbidder on the Bourbon Lodge. We have another trip if you'd like to go at the same price. What was the price, sir? $675. Ma'am, would you like to go at $675? Putting you on the spot. Gotta shake your head this way. Yes, she would! Thank you. And thank you, donor on the Bourbon Lodge. That's another one. And the bidder number is, what's that number, hon?
1004.
1004. Thank you.
Now, on to live auction item number 5. This one's for the ladies or anyone sitting next to the ladies. Because it's a diamond ring. And what woman doesn't love diamonds? This 14-karat yellow gold ladies diamond cluster ring is simply gorgeous. Approximately 1 carat weight. The value, $1,500. The donor, decor, interior, and jewelry.
And I have been told that we have had a donation of a manicure which would make your diamond ring look even better to go with it. Now this young lady here in the crown, she's very easy to spot, has the diamond ring, and she will bring it around for your inspection. Who would like to start me off at $500? Hit 5, we go 5, what about a 5, bid 5, what about a 500? Hit about $1,500 value. What's that? 500. And now 750. Hit 500 now, 750, we go 750, what about a 750? And 500 now, 750, divide, there on 750, 750. And 500, we go 750. 500, 750, what about a 750? We're going to go 750, 750. And 750, what about a 750? 500 bid, now 750 divide, donut, what about a 750? 750, 750. And now 1,000 of you, what about a 1? We go 1,000, was that a yes? Shake your head this way. 1,000, that doesn't look like a yes. You can't find nothing going that way. Ma'am, do not let money stand between you and happiness. $750, 750. You wanna go 850, hon? How about 850? 850, what about a 50? We go 50, what about an 850? 750 now, 850 to buy, what about a 750? He said yes, what about a 750? I'm reading his mind. 750, come on, sir. 750, 750, and 750, what? I got 750, what am I doing? 850, 850, what about an 850? You wanna go 850? How about 800? Would that help?